This roadshow is brought to you by ResearchBytes.com.
Good evening, friends from the financial community, and a very warm welcome from Welspun India. My name is Naveen Soni. I head the corporate communications for the group. And for today's annual investor conference, we are joined by our chairman, Mr. B.K. Goenka. We are also joined by Ms. Dipali Goenka, who is the CEO and joint MD for Welspun India. We also have Mr. Akhil Jindal, who is the Director Group Finance and Strategy. We have Mr. Altaf Jivani, who is the CFO of Welspun India. So in today's conference, the agenda is first we'll have an address from the chairman. Then we'll have Ms. Dipali Goenka speaking about the business performance and also giving you the way forward, followed by Mr. Altaf Jivani giving you the financial highlights, and then finally the Q&A. So I now request Mr. B.K. Goenka, Chairman Welspun Group, to come and give his address. Mr. Goenka.
Good evening, friends. Let me welcome you all once again on behalf of Welspun Group and Welspun India for on today's investor meet, and also like to thank you for sparing your time to attend this annual meet. Just to start with, at a group level, I thought let me just give you 2 minutes, take your two minutes on the group, what we are trying to do at the group level. As you all know, Welspun Group is today having a turnover of more than $3 billion across all the verticals. And we have primarily 4 main businesses. One is Welspun India Limited, for which we are meeting today, which is the by far #1 home textile company across the globe. Second, Welspun Corp, which is also well known in the industry. We are one of the top 3 global large diameter pipe producer in the whole globe. Welspun Energy, which is primarily focusing on solar. We are the largest solar power producer in the country. By March, we have already commissioned around 850 megawatt. By July, it will be more than 1100 megawatt of solar capacity across 9 states in the country. Then we have recently hived off from Welspun Corp called Welspun Enterprise, where all the non-core businesses like oil and gas, infra was shifted to Welspun Enterprise Limited, and we are going to focus mainly on infra. And in fact, recently we won the first hybrid annuity award that is called Delhi Merit of roughly 1,000 crore. Of the first project, we won it. Friends, last 3 years we have taken a journey called reorganizing the whole group. When I say reorganizing, means basically exiting from the non-core businesses, deleveraging the whole group at different level, simplify the corporate structure, and finally improve the profitability of all the core businesses. If we see, we have exited from our Max Steel, which was our steel businesses. We sold it to JSW. We exited from the Leighton. We sold back our stake back to them, and also exited in last 3 years in many of the infrastructure projects. So across the group, we deleveraged almost like 2,500 crores of debt in various non-core activity. Apart from this, we have also cut down the losses of almost 300 crores, which was basically adding to which was having a stress on our EBITDA, which has now become positive after paying all these debts. When I say simplifying the corporate structure, the whole textile business is consolidated under one umbrella. We have demerged the pipe and the non-core pipe businesses, what I said just now, Welspun Enterprise, all the infra and oil and gas business into separate company. And same way, we have consolidated all our other businesses in different heads. If you see this slide at the group level in the last 3. So with these words, thank you very much, and after that, you have whatever the question answers, we'll take it up. Thank you.
We're also now joined by Mr. Rajesh Mandaviwala, who is the Group Managing Director and a co-promoter at Welspun Group. I would like now to invite Ms. Dipali Goenka, who is the CEO and Joint Managing Director of Welspun India. Feather in her cap, she's been ranked by Forbes Asia as the 16th most powerful businesswoman in Asia. So I guess we have some good news to share here. So I'll now invite her to talk about the business performance and also the way forward. Ms. Goenka.
Good evening, friends. I'm glad to see a full house. And after the presentation of our chairman, I think a couple of questions that I had when I was just meeting a few of you was, would Welspun be able to sustain this growth? What is it that Welspun will do differently is something that everybody was talking about. So I would just take you through a few business insights and the way we do it. You know, when we talk about textiles, we usually talk about, yes, the machines and the production, commodity. But at Welspun, we have moved beyond that. We've moved beyond creating products focused on customer, problem solving for them, and also creating a unique brand experience. And that makes us far different than anybody else. What is Welspun's improved market share? You can see it here, how it has, increased and is better year on year. 20% towels into United States of America, 11% sheets into United States of America. That puts us to say that every 5th towel in United States of America is a Welspun towel. What has been the success in this year? Leadership position, we have been consecutively voted as the #1 home textile supplier in United States of America. Highest exports from India for Bedlin and terry towel. And as our chairman said, we are the largest in the world for home textiles. Accelerated growth of 13% this year. And yes, 47% domestic retail growth. And I would just emphasize here that we have seen and we will continue to maintain this growth in our country with spaces and Wellhome and institution and hospitality. And when we talk about 100% hospitality business growth, this is globally. We've actually seen double-digit growth in the hospitality global business as well. As we define the industry, we have launched Hygro, which has been an ingredient brand, and one of the most important patents that we launched globally. We've invested in our marketing globally as well. This year, this will see a growth of around $150 million in revenues. And we have also been nominated as the first Indian company to receive the Egyptian Cotton Gold Seal. This is a unique slide and defines the Welspun ethos to the core, and it breaks us from the complete glut of manufacturing. Here, when we talk about Welspun, we talk about the consumer. We talk about the consumer experience, and hence our innovation journey starts. It starts from the consumer researches to our Welspun Innovation Lab, our product development. And then how does it ensure the credibility? We work with the ethical sourcing, our compliances, and innovation partners. And if I must say that as we spoke about our global patents, we have 26, including pending. It is the second largest globally, if I must say, holding the largest patents as a textile company. What is the brand and delivery focus? When we talk about brands, I think with Welspun, we talk about ingredient brands and technology. Hygro Cotton, as you know, Drylon, Nanocore. These are all our ingredient brands created in our Welspun Innovation Lab. What are the brands that we talk about? Spaces and Wellhome in India, Christie and Kingsley globally, and Spun is a brand that you see here, which is created by our women in the communities. It is also a great sustainability story that we have here. The licensed brands like Wimbledon and Rugby. Now, how do we, when we talk about the customer stickiness, how does that come in here? Apart from being a B2B, we also have a B2C connect. And let me just explain here. When we work with our customers, we actually also manage the inventories. We manage what will sell, what will not sell for them. The segmentation analysis in the inventories. I must quote an example which has just recently happened. One of the topmost retailers in America. We have actually worked with them on collaborative forecasting. And we could manage to reduce around 20% of the inventory. And we are working in sync with their merchandisers to, with our platform called Tableau. We also create dashboards for a few retailers as well. These are the experiences that we create, our unique experiences with our Nanocore, Hygro, and Drylon. Chairman has already highlighted about what we're talking about, but I think I will just emphasize this a little bit more. At Welspun, we basically focus on 3 E's: education, empowerment, environment, and health. Education is not only about, we have a school where we have 1,500 kids. We're also working with 50 schools in the communities, adult literacy, and empowering women across. I must also add that we have actually looked and we've taken on a journey of sustainability, where most of our stories at Welspun, our products will be recycled. There'll be products created out of plastic bottles, and 100% recycling story of water as well. We have health camps. We have, the medical vans across our communities, and microfinancing in urban poor as well in Mumbai. 20% women by 2020, that is our goal here. And when we talk about that, we are also looking and partnering with one of the topmost retailer in the world for the Women Economic Empowerment Initiative called Swasti. So there are a whole lot of initiatives that we have taken on. We have a brand called Spun. We have launched a smart village, which actually basically has the 5 E's. We are talking about infrastructure there. We are talking about water. We are talking about sanitation. We are talking about Wi-Fi, medical camps, solar lighting. So what would be the way forward? I think, everybody talks about these are the results. I've been asked this question today by a lot of news channels today. How are you going to continue to maintain this growth? And we are very confident. Yes, we are very confident about what we have to do here. By creating, we have the new channels that we are talking about: hospitality, we are talking about healthcare. And I must also just give you a little insight, which I will talk about it next year. We are also looking at smart textiles, which I will share later in detail, as this is work in progress. We are talking about new geographies: Europe, rest of the world, Africa, Australia, Middle East. Innovation is going to be our backbone, because without innovation, we don't see ourselves going forward. Operational excellence. I mean, this is a question that we all talk about. When the going is good, everything looks good. But yes, we have to gear up for the future where there will be challenges. The manpower cost is going to go up. The operational costs are going to go up. So we have partnered with McKinsey to work on the operational excellence across our plants. Expanded product ranges. So we are not just a towel and a sheet company. We also do bath rugs. We are also doing area rugs and basic bedding. And of course, the customization and personalized products, that will be the goal forward. This is Vision 2020. How do we lead tomorrow together with innovation, our brands, technology? Technology is not just going to be our back-end in the terms of ERP, it's also going to be the IoT. It's going to be in the terms of customer experience, the data analytics, the people development, because we feel people are at our core. People will be, when we talk about people, we'll not only talk about the white collar people here, we're also talking about the blue collared. And I must share an interesting initiative that Welspun has taken here for the girls and the women. We actually have embarked on a journey for our women at the blue collar, where we are actually helping them graduate so that they can also take on the roles of managers and supervisors. And that actually true will be the inclusive growth, including the communities. And collaborations, when we talk about here, it will be the customers, it will be the communities and the academia. We are working with various renowned universities globally, where we have tied up for partnerships in innovation and path-breaking technologies. And that's the way forward for Welspun India. And we'll continue to satisfy our investors and our customers. Thank you.
That was Ms. Dipali Goenka. I now invite Mr. Altaf Chivani, CFO Welspun India, to talk about the financial highlights for the Q4 and for the entire financial year. Mr. Chivani.
Thank you, Naveen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's another stellar performance by Welspun India during FY16. All of you have the results with you. I'd just like to take some highlights. We have seen 13% growth during FY16, and it's all predominantly driven by the volume. So we had 12% increase in the volume. We had about 2% price drop, and we had 3% of favorable exchange impact. So all this growth actually has been volume driven, and this volume actually has grown across all three categories, that is bedsheet, towels and carpets and rugs. Operating EBITDA has expanded by another 200 basis points. So we are now at 26% EBITDA margin during FY16. PAT has crossed a new milestone of 700 crores this year. Last year we crossed 500 crores milestone. This year it's 700 crores. Net debt to equity, as chairman mentioned, the focus for the company has been always to generate free cash flow and deleverage. So net debt to equity has now come down to 1.3 from 1.8 last year. Net debt to operating EBITDA also is down to 1.6. Return on capital employed has gone up to 26%. We'll show you the trend in the subsequent slide. From 22% it has gone up to 26%. So that shows the continuous focus of the company on the capital employed. Long-term rating has been increased from A+ to AA- during October. Free cash flow, this is the second consecutive year. After spending about 1100 crores, we have a free cash flow of 380 crores. So last year we had a capex of about 568 crores, and we had a free cash flow of 80 crores. So capex has almost double, and the free cash flow actually has become 4 times. Dividend, as chairman mentioned, the board has announced the final dividend today, another 5%. So with this, the total dividend paid during the year was 130%. That's 26% of total profit after tax of Welspun India, which is slightly higher than the dividend distribution policy announced last year. In Q4, volume growth has been 19.2%, and for the full year, it's 12.8%. Operating margin is 26% vis-a-vis 24% last year. The increase in the operating margin is about 202 basis points, and profit after tax actually has increased 30%. So while top line is growing at a rate of 13%, the bottom line is growing much faster. So EPS has grown by 30% during this year. This is a slide to just show you that how consistently the company has been delivering results. So revenue growth, as chairman has explained in the first slide, against our guidance, we have actually done 17.9% in 3 years CAGR. Operating EBITDA has grown 37.8% CAGR. And PAT has grown 46% CAGR. So operating margin, if you see, we were at 16.3% in FY13, and now we are at 26%. This has actually, there are 3-4 main reasons. One of them is that, as chairman mentioned, we have been exiting from some of the non-value accretive businesses. Second is we did a lot of vertical integration. And lastly, as Deepali mentioned, focus on the innovative and the branded products. So as this is increasing, our margins are going up actually. Again, the trend of balance sheet. So we have doubled the net worth during last 3 years from 990 crores to 1,987 crores. More importantly, the net debt, if you see, despite a capex of almost about 2,500 crores in 3 years, our net debt actually has come down this year compared to last year. So as we promised earlier, the net debt continues to be a main focus for us. And chairman has already given us a vision of in 5 years, we will actually reach nil net debt by 2020. Here, 2 or 3 ratios I just want to highlight here. One is the return on capital employed, which is 26.4% from 16.3 3 years ago. Net debt to equity is 1.62. Cash conversion cycle has actually come down to 43 from 59 days, while inventory has come down substantially. We had some long-term arrangements with some of the vendors, so that's why the creditors' number of days have come down. Our CAGR during last 3 years has grown by 18%. Operating EBITDA has grown by 38%, and PAT has grown by 46%. Similarly, cash profit has grown by 40%. These are the key ratios trends, just to highlight the consistency in the performance. So ROC is now up from 22.8 to 26.4%. Return on equity continues to be very high at 41%. Net debt to equity is down to 1.3, and net debt to operating EBITDA is 1.6. This is an interesting slide to show that how the swing has happened in free cash flow. So in FY13, we had a negative free cash flow of about 621 crores. We are now at 376 crores of positive cash flow. So 1,000 crore swing in 2 years, all because of the way we have calibrated our capex based on the cash flow availability, as well as ruthless focus on the working capital management. Today, our capacity now stands at about 60,000 tons for towel and 72 million for bedsheet. And rugs and carpets, we were earlier reporting in metric ton. We have changed the unit to square meters. Now it's 8 million square meters. And going forward, we are actually increasing capacity of towels from 60,000 ton to 72,000 tons. And bedsheet will be from 72 million to 90 million meters. And rugs and carpets will be about 10 million square meters. We'll be spending about 8 billion rupees, around 800 crores, to achieve this capacity increase during current financial year. Dividend I have mentioned you earlier, it's 130% dividend this year. So we paid 2 interim dividends earlier in October and March, and today we have announced the final dividend. Awards and recognition, this slide is a routine slide you see every year, and we see every year we get those awards. So regular awards, this time Deepali's award is also there, number 16 in the Asia list for most powerful businesswomen. Apart from this, the most innovative award, the best supplier award, and the best sustainability efforts, all those awards continue. So it has become more like a habit for the company now. Thank you. We'll be happy to answer your questions now. Thank you.
So friends, we now open the forum for the questions. Please introduce yourself and also say whom your question is pointed to. we may begin the questions now. From here, if we can get the mic here, please. Or we can give a mic from here.
Good evening to the entire team and congratulations on a great set of numbers. My question is to the team. One is, slight confusion on the payout. While I saw the slide, it said that the payout is 25% of the standalone profits. Now, this is something which I thought we've gone on record saying that it will be on the total consolidated profit. So obviously, if I calculate that, we are still at about 19%. And if I include the tax, we are at about 21%. So just want to get a sense on that. The second is, obviously the capex that we have carried along, there is still about 250 crores which is yet to be spent. And in addition to that, we are spending another 550 crores. So I'm assuming that, a lot of that would be maintenance. And of course, we are also expanding. And in our previous conference call, we've gone on record saying that we would also be retiring our debt by about 400 to 500 crores in the current year. So you still stand by your words and feel confident that you will retire your debt in the current year by 400-500 crores, or there will be, slippage into FY18. Also, if you can highlight the ancillarization program and progress that you are making on the spinners and weavers. So have you identified any spinners around the Anjar, around our facility, which will help us to, take our business model more asset light? Because we have had companies who are able to demonstrate good growth, good margins on a very, very asset light model and are still able to grow 20-25%. So, we want to hear from your mouth as to now when the ancillarization will kick off and we will retire debt, because that is the only way we can improve our...
Yeah, I'll answer the first two questions and Dipali will answer the ancillary question. The dividend payout ratio, actually the policy is 25% of standalone. So that has been the policy. So Welspun India standalone profit is 601 crores. And the 25% payout includes dividend distribution tax. Regarding capex, we have that, as you rightly mentioned, 250 crore is a spillover from the last year. And the guidance which we have given, we continue to stand by that. Our capex going forward will be equal to our depreciation. So we'll be about 450 to 500 crores depreciation during the current year.
So on the ancillarization, first of all, it looks like a one-on-one, this analyst versus the company meeting. Too many questions, but we'll take it on. So the ancillarization, we are very glad to report that last week, the first ancillary has actually begun production, and which is a spinning unit which will supply almost 45 tons a day of yarn to us. This will take about 2-3 months to stabilize. So that is already wrapped up. And then we are under discussion now with 13 companies for, let's say, for an extended supply chain. So this we have gotten off to a good start. And over the next 2 or 3 years, I think clearly the strategy should play out. So, and we are being very, very diligent about who we partner with, how we partner with. So all in all this, we are pretty satisfied with the progress that we are making. So all the growth that you are seeing here in capacity from 60 to 72,000 tons of towels, and also on the bed linen side, so we are standing by what we said. So there is no spinning investment that is going in. There is almost no weaving investment that is going in. So this we are standing by what we said. All the spinning and weaving investment will continue. So our focus will be on the ancillaries. So this is purely to raise capacity, and also it includes a part of routine capital. See, look, the company's got this almost a 5,000 crore asset base. So there is always going to be some routine capital expenditure as well. So the capital expenditure also includes a part of this. To your last question, which is, do we stand by our free cash flows? Yes. So this, despite, let's say, the capital expenditure, we believe that our company will be able to reduce debt, and to the extent that we alluded to on the last call. So we are still confident that we should be able to, so that the reduction of debt cycle should begin. Even in the current year, despite, let's say, this handsome dividend payout, we have actually reduced net debt by almost 100 crores. So, and this is after the dividend payout. So this we feel fairly confident that this we should be able to continue to pare down debt. And this year should be a substantial reduction because, see, FY16, our capex is more than 1100 crores. So despite that, there was a free cash flow before dividend of 370 crores. So all in all, we feel pretty confident that the debt reduction will start looking more pronounced from the current year onwards. Hope that answers your question.
I just want to take on the question of the asset-light model that you talked about. I think with the capacities that Welspun has and the world's largest capacities, I think globally that we are, I think we have to think about the consumer and give him the best experience in the terms of product. So it is important that we, have the vertical integration here. And I think we've taken the initiatives on that.
Next question, please. From that side, on the back.
Hello. My question on both the global overseas market and the domestic market, what is the volume growth we have seen during the FY16, and what is our expectation in terms of revenue growth and the margin, because we are currently operating a very high end of our own guidance of 23 to 24%. So FY17, what kind of margin we are looking at a EBITDA level?
Domestically or globally?
Domestic and globally both.
So let me first talk about the global margins as well. I must say that the margins we maintain the next year between 22 to 24%. And a mix, as we spoke about in my presentation, it will be in the terms of innovative products and branded products that actually will contribute to our margins. So that's what we maintain there. When we talk about the domestic market, and if you talk about, we have two brands, Spaces and Wellhome, that span across all the, demographics of our consumers here, from the middle, from the bottom pyramid to the middle. And here we have seen a 47% growth, and we maintain that growth for next year as well. I hope I've answered your question. If there's anything else I could answer.
Ma'am, volume growth during the year?
So volume growth in retail you're talking about?
No, overall business volume growth.
It's a double-digit growth that we are talking about here.
Okay, and secondly, it says one feedback on your mid segment products, because the distribution side, the availability of products in the main markets, it is lacking. So how we are working on that front?
I didn't get the question.
Distribution of our brands like Specs or Wellhome, the availability of those products in main stores or different retail stores, it's lacking. So what we are doing in the distribution side of that segment?
Yes, right now we are available through 250 MBOs and there are around 200 shop and shops. But definitely your question is quite valid. We actually are working towards looking at the complete marketing and distribution strategy, which actually we'll be unveiling this year. So you will see more of Spaces across more channels.
And lastly, any update on the FTA with Europe?
Still, I think I think you would like to talk about it. I think it's still under.
So it's still work in process. So we've been hoping that this will happen. We thought it will happen by the middle of this year. It doesn't look like. So at least this year, we don't see any benefit coming out of that. So it might actually spill over to 2017. But the good thing is the discussions are on. So there is keenness from both sides. So, hopefully 2017 we'll see something, but so it's been dragging, and hopefully something should come out of it in 2017.
Okay, thank you and all the best.
Okay, we can have a question from here. If you can get the mic towards that side.
Hi, Sandeep Nag from Ashmore. Firstly, thank you for doing this for investors. My question was with regard to the high-grow cotton product. Where's the price point at? Would it just fit into a Bed Bath & Beyond in the US, or do we also have it in a Walmart? Also, the 2020 vision, right? How scalable would this be as a percentage of total revenues? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very, have you been using our products, or you're familiar with the American
I have in the
market?
US, yeah, I have.
It's a very interesting question, and I must just say here that, when we talk about high grow, it is an ingredient product. So, when you talk about being an Egyptian towel, it could be used in an Egyptian towel. It could be also used in a ring spun towel. So it depends upon it's about like a lycra. A lycra could be spanned across anything. So that's the way. So of course, and coincidentally, it is present in a Walmart, and it is also present in a Bed Bath. And when you talk about the scalability, we actually have created this product not only in towels but in sheets. So as I spoke about, we are looking at this year at $150 million in revenue for high grow itself alone. And as we go forward, we look at around $200 to $250 million next year.
And by 2020, that number would be?
That could actually practically be more. Because then that time I would also look at co-branding this product with various brands as well.
Thank you.
Okay, next question from this side here.
Yeah. Hi, this is Bhavin from Enamel Links. Couple of questions. The 2020 vision of $2 billion in revenues, will our capacity expansion all will be via debottlenecking, or we may have to go greenfield way to achieve that number? And the second one is on the US market, if you can guide us, what kind of the industry volume growth is happening in the US market in both towels and bed sheets?
Can you raise your hand, please, so that we know where you are?
Yeah, you're Rajesh ji. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So, this, as we have been repeatedly saying, that our growth will be on the back of brownfield. So, we don't intend making spinning and weaving investments, weaving for the sheet side. And we have done enough work with this large capital expenditure that we have incurred over the past 3 years to allow us to continue growing our business at a double-digit rate for the next several years. So we are hoping to achieve that growth through brownfield, this going forward in the future. And the ancillarization benefit will pay out. Can you go with your second question again, please?
Yeah, on the US, so India and Welspun has been gaining market share, which is relevant from the slides and what data we get. But US market as such, is there any data available? What kind of volume growth in towels, in bed sheets that market is seeing?
So you have been asking this question for 5 years, and we have been answering this question for 5 years. So the US market has got no growth, Bhavin. It's about 1.5%. And this has been over the last 10, 15 years. So our thing is about, let's say, this growing our market share with our clients. And if you look at the slide which Dipali had put up, so our share has actually grown in the US from 11% to 20%. And every year we have actually grown market share there. So it's all the innovative stuff that we continue to do excites our customers. And we believe that this our market share and overall growth should continue to happen. Dipali, why don't you tell them about the different channels that you are also working on, and so, which also helps us increase market share?
We basically are actually working on, when you talk about channels, it's not just retail channels. We're also working with the retailers, e-marketplaces as well, and working with the e-commerce. We are working with hospitality, which actually has seen a double-digit growth, and we see that we're going to maintain that as we go forward. And the new channel that you will see go forward is also going to be healthcare. So definitely, I think with us at Welspun, it's about gaining our market share with our innovative products, our brands. We're seeing Christie getting into United States of America, and of course these channels that I spoke about. Thank you.
Thanks a lot and best of luck.
Okay, we have a question from this side.
Hi. When you talk about this Welspun Innovation Lab and IoT and data analytics, what is the application in a textile?
You know, imagine when you talk about now I'll first start with the IoT and the data analytics. Imagine with the zip codes, you could predict what that consumer will buy in that area. So, we are working on a lot of things which could actually evaluate and evolve to that level. That's what we are talking about. When we talk about Internet of Things, it could be from the real-time data from the machine so that we don't do a post-mortem to, as I spoke about, the zip code. So there are a lot of things that we are doing. We have already started doing the segmentation analysis. We know what would sell on a West Coast vis-a-vis an East Coast, so we definitely do the projections and work with the consumer accordingly. And when you talk about the innovative labs are not just in our factories at Welspun, but it is global, with our partnerships that we have with the academia in the United States and across the world as well.
So what is coming out of it?
There's a whole lot of things. Suspense is interesting, and we'll keep it in suspense.
Okay, so on the first point, what you said about using a zip code, so that will be a kind of service which you will be giving to your customers.
Yes.
So has it started already?
No,
or
we have already started working on it. So we'll actually take it. It's work in progress because you know how technology takes on. We've already taken our first steps. So in a couple of months, you will see that happening.
So you are working on this project from the company side actively, or like?
Yeah, we are working on the project from the company side. Yeah.
So any specific
amount? We have a huge team on across the group where the technology is major. Our way forward across. It's a culture. It's going to be in the blood. So we have tied up with IBM for implementing the whole thing across the group. And Welspun India is one of the, one of the company which is going to take lead into this at the group level.
The whole idea is when we talk about when you even talk about B2B, it's about the customer experience. So it is it truly shows the partnership that Welspun has with its customers. Okay. Where it truly looks and gives the customer, a B2B customer like a Walmart or a JCPenney or a Macy's, an insight into what their consumer is looking at.
Okay, so secondly, is there any technology edge now in the manufacturing side also which you are exploring in terms of production? So you said you engaged with McKinsey in getting the cost down. Is there any technology advancement in it? For example, if the time it was taking for you to buy cotton and make a sheet finally, maybe any changes in that?
You're already spelling out a lot of things. We'll keep it in the future. We'll talk about it. There's lots happening here. We're talking about automation. There are a lot of things happening from the cotton perspective, from the raw material to the whole value chain. So we'll share as it comes through.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have a question from that side on the left. Okay, so we'll have one question from here and then we'll go there.
So hi everybody, this is Alok B. Agarwal. Long journey, 50 rupees in 2013 July, there were no buyers. At 1,000 rupees, everybody wants to chase the stock. That's the journey. And I've been personally a part of it, so it makes me feel absolutely happy. Looking forward, you're saying 2020, you'll do about $2 billion, am I right? We are about 6,000 crore sales now. So which means that you'll more than double in 4 years from here. So your top line should be growing at more than 22%, am I right? And with the strategy of growing your top line and bringing down costs without, capex. So obviously, that would mean a substantial increase in your capital efficiency. ROE and ROC should go up substantially. You're also trying to bring down debt, zero net debt. So does it mean that all this would lead to a tremendous, as I see it, correct me if I'm wrong, leap in your EBITDA and PBT? Because if your top line grows by more than doubles, 22, then obviously you're not going to be happy with your PBT growing by 2 times. It could be a multiple. This is the way I look at it. Otherwise, you would not be making or taking, this kind of efforts.
So, good question, Alok. This I was expecting it from you.
Thank
Otherwise,
you.
I would have been disappointed. So, yes, you are absolutely right. But the business will have to grow. So the company has got this various levers that it is trying to pull. So Dipali mentioned about the different channels. And also we have a product strategy. So this every 2-3 years, we get into a new product. It's time for us to start looking for that next product that we want to do. And we are currently working on something exciting. So, this is a 5-year blueprint that we have drawn up, and on which we are continuing to work. So there are some very exciting ideas and product ideas, brand ideas that we are currently working on. But we will stick by, let's say what we have been saying. So it will be, let's say consistently we will continue to reduce the debt in the company. This will continue to grow our business. We'll try and accelerate growth through products, markets, channels, and yet continue to, let's say, reduce debt. You have read too much out of our vision slide. We have been guiding consistently over the last several years about our margin being between 22. We started from 20, 21. So gradually we have grown that thanks to all the good work that Dipali and her team have been doing. So we have consistently upgraded that guidance. And this is, let's say, a long-term guidance that we are talking about. And although we've been delivering much higher, so this year, we have delivered a 26% operating EBITDA margin. So, but we have to keep that little bit of cushion for any regulatory changes, any policy changes that happen in the future, so that you guys are not caught unawares. And so we continue to maintain our margin guidance. And we are looking at several avenues to actually hit the vision that we are talking about. So it's work in process. It's a 5-year plan that we are working on. For this moment, for the current year, our growth guidance continues to be what we have been saying, which will be double digit. Hopefully in the teens. And but there are several very interesting ideas that we are working on.
So the way I see it, because your probably EBITDA margins would stagnate somewhere. In the worst case scenario, but because of lower investments, your depreciation cost will come down or stagnate. As a ratio of sales, will come down. Interest obviously will take a declining curve, and all that would lead to a significant jump in PBT.
Absolutely right.
Right, sir.
So for example, please finish your question. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So, I'm trying to project that if your top line doubles in 4 years, your PBT could go up by 5 times or 6 times. I've not done any paper calculation, but you're not going to be happy with less than that.
But let's not go that far.
Sure.
Hello. For the moment, we talk about FY17, and we are very confidence on the guidance that we are making for the current year. As I said, long-term plans are strategic plans. There is time on our side for us to continue to work in that area. But let's say when we guide we take, let's say a long-term picture in mind. So, and we like to be conservative when we guide, so that if we deliver better, it's a surprise on the positive side. So, we like to be cautious while guiding, and and history says it all, that over the last 12 to 14 quarters, our margins, our absolute EBITDA number has consistently grown quarter on quarter. I think about 13 or 14 quarters now, our margins has consistently improved. So, but you have to take a longer term view when you guide margins. As of now, we are not seeing anything which is suggesting that our margins will go down. So, but you have to keep the long-term picture in mind while you guide.
Great.
Yes, I want to add one thing. Whatever, this is a strategic, let's say, slide. But let me tell you guys that you will see the net debt coming, and that will happen definitely. Whether the top line happen 2 billion or not, but the debt will definitely dramatically come down every year.
So I see it as that is what will propel your bottom line. So I'll conclude. Thank you very much for answering my question. And just to say that this has been a absolutely phenomenal experience last 3 years. Rajesh, Akhil, you remember we were together when we started pushing at 50, 55 rupees, and the kind of response we got, and you know how it today at 1,000 rupees you have a houseful show and people are looking forward. So the credit goes to the team, and having been an analyst for 13 years now, when I've seen how small caps and mid caps, you know, they fall by the wayside. This is completely purely the determination of the top management and getting it and catching the bull by the horns and taking it forward. Great, thank you, and I hope, you know, all the best.
Thank you. We'll now take a question from that side, please.
Yeah, so we recently forayed into e-commerce business in October 2015, and we had a target of 5% of our annual sales. So at what percent have we reached?
I would say that when we talk about e-commerce, e-commerce is a form of distribution, like you have a retail channel. It's kind of a mode of distribution, like it's the omni-channel. When Welspun's portfolio of brands, Welspun's portfolio of innovative products, it's actually a way of communicating to the consumers about our products and the USPs of our products. And we are available through e-tailing. We are available through the other marketplaces globally. We have Christie, which has grown staggeringly very high in the terms of its volumes and revenues in the terms of e-commerce. But I would still maintain that e-commerce is an omni-channel for us, and we will maintain that 5% that we talked about. Thank you.
So we'll take a couple of more questions. The one from here, this side.
Hi, Saurabh Jain from HSBC. So my question is regarding your dividend policy. Recent announcement in the budget say that you have another taxation on the dividends over 10 lakh rupees. So what are your thoughts on that? Are you going to continue with 25% payout, or is it going to change now?
What do you want us to do?
Sir, please pay out the dividends.
No, we'll maintain it. Don't worry about it. And you have seen already the surprises there. We have given more than what has been announced, what has been promised. So you will see, I mean, with times to come, we'll have a better surprise.
Okay, great. And also, you mentioned hospitality and healthcare as the new growth areas. So what can be the potential, and how fast we can grow in those segments?
Hospitality, not only in India, I'm talking about globally.
Yes.
It takes time. We've been working on it for the past 3 years, and these are contracts that these companies do for 3 to 5 years. So now we have started making our headway into it. So we will see it grow, but consistently.
But what could be the market potential? Any
It
sense
could
on
be
that?
to the extent of around 200 million and beyond.
Okay. And healthcare?
Healthcare is a very big market. Again, it could be even bigger than hospitality. So let's see as it goes. We have just made our entry into it, so we'll talk about it as we go forward.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, one more from that side, last column. Yeah.
My question is to Dipali ma'am. Congratulations ma'am, you are an inspiration to women like us. My question is relating to, the revenue from US is largely, still it contributes a large portion of our revenue. So I just want to understand how will be our geographical diversification going forward? Say by 2020, how do we see our, other geographies spanning and contribution from those geographies increasing? And my second question is to Rajesh sir. There are some opportunities inorganically available in the industry, wherein we could get some of the assets at the below replacement cost. So why are we little reluctant about taking out those opportunities, and in spite of possessing the all skill set and efficiencies to turn around those businesses? Thank you.
Thank you. USA is definitely one of the big markets. And we will grow in USA as well. But however, we are also growing in the other parts of the world, UK, Europe. We are talking about Japan, Australia, and Africa. Along with that, our products that we are talking about would be a very important aspect for our growth vehicle. Towels and sheets already, as you know, but rugs, carpets, basic bedding and fashion bedding also will be the way forward. It will be also the various channels that we are talking about will be hospitality, healthcare, and we are also embarking on a journey of smart textiles, which we will talk next year. So there's a whole lot of things that we'll talk about which actually will help us de-risk ourselves from United States as well.
So again, we've been bombarded with this, this whether we are interested in inorganic growth or not. Look, anything that we do has to be strategic. So, you go out, let's say, and buy businesses just for the heck of it because they are available at, let's say, less than replacement cost just does not appeal to us. First thing is they are not available at less than replacement cost, nothing is. And even otherwise, so we are not out in the market to capacity shop. See, the risk that you take, when you only shop capacity is you take risk with the culture between businesses and things like that. So unless it makes, this very strong strategic sense, we wouldn't want to just go out and buy capacities.
Okay, the last question from this side, please. Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Maybe we can give the other mic here. Just give the other mic, please.
Hello. Okay, it's okay. Hi, sir. This is Nihal Jamia from Edelweiss. Just want to take this discussion on innovative products forward. We've seen how good the performance of Hygro Cotton has been. So any other product or technology which has gained significant size or is worth mentioning about at this point?
I had actually shared a slide there where I talked about Nanocore and Drylon, which again are ingredient products that would be something as we go forward. So there'll be a whole lot of things that we are doing, not only in terms of ingredient products, also in the design patents as well. So there'll be a lot of things, and there's another interesting product that we are talking about, which again would be a far big kind of innovative product that we talk about as we go forward. So innovation is something I would talk as it comes and as we create these milestones, because there's lots in our pipeline that is yet to come.
Absolutely. Just to understand the contribution, any sizable like the way Hygro Cotton is at this point?
Definitely. I mean, Hygro, if we talk about, is 150 as we talk about and 200 as we go forward. The other product that we're talking about could, as we go in the coming times, be as big or better than Hygro.
Fair enough. Thank you so much.
Well, that was the last question. If you have any more questions, you can get in touch with our investor relations team and we'll be happy to address them and also happy to welcome you in our offices to meet. I'll also request you to join us for the high tea. And thank you very much everyone for taking time out and visiting us.
And also see our interactive RFID software,
yes.
Our Hygro products outside, please.
So some displays are there telling you more about Welspun. You may want to visit them.